Hello, my most amazing artist.
Hello, my most amazing art teacher.
How are you today? I hope the answer is ready to create, because even though I'm not here, that's what you're gonna do. But first, before we get to all that, let's just talk about this for a second, shall we? Because I've informed our buddy the sub all about the happy and sad system. So she's watching you right now, making sure that your hands are in your lap. You're sitting on your bottom. You're not touching your friends. You're doing the right thing. And I bet she's thinking about drawing some lines under here. So boys and girls, let's talk about what you're going to create today, because I can't wait to get back and see all that you've made. You're going to be making something today called a love monster, based on the story that you just heard. Let's talk about how you're going to do that, because not only will you be making a love monster, but your love monster has gotten lost. Oh no. You better make some lost love monster posters, don't you think? Let's get to it. I hope you guys enjoyed the story of the love monster as much as I did, because now it's time for you to create your own monster. The only problem is your monster has vanished. So you need to make a lost monster poster. But first, let's talk about what you need to get from the store. You need to get a piece of paper to draw your monster on. You'll need to get a little pink, purple, or red piece of paper for his heart. You'll need to get your poster for your lost love monster and 2 Sharpies, a big one and a small one. When you get to your seat, you're going to find some pretty exciting stuff, like a plate of eyeballs. You may use 1 eyeball if your monster is a cyclops. You may use 2 eyeballs. They don't even have to be the same size, but you may not use more than 2, because buddies in other classes need to use them also. So once you have your 2 eyeballs picked out, you'll also see on your table that you have an idea sheet. This is just for you to look at. You don't have to use the ideas on this sheet, but it'll give you some ideas on how to make the body, the mouth, some accessories for your monster, and how to put it all together. Like I said, those are just ideas. You don't have to use them. Before you start, I want you to know that your paper needs to go horizontally so that it will fit inside of that frame. But you don't have to worry about gluing it down just yet. First, you can work on your monster. Remember, your paper needs to go horizontally. Before you glue anything down, you might want to start thinking about your composition. Composition is where things are placed on a piece of paper. So maybe I want my eyes really far apart. That already looks pretty funny. Or super close together. It's up to you. And once you've kind of figured that out without gluing it down, then you can start working on your heart. To make a heart, as most of you know, you need to fold your paper in half. A heart needs to begin and end on the folded line. And you only have to draw half of it. So I'm going to use my Sharpie. And when I draw a heart, it begins and ends on my folded line. I start with a curved line called an arch, and then I end my half of a heart with a diagonal line. Again, I started and ended on my folded line. Now I'm going to cut that out and make sure that I've done it right. Now, if you cut out your heart and you end up with 2 half hearts, that means you accidentally began and ended on your open part. So let's make sure I did this correctly. Yes. Now I'm ready to start playing with that in my composition. Once my camera focuses, there we go. All right, I think maybe I'll do something a little bit like this. Now, I strongly recommend that you draw with a pencil first, then you can trace over your pencil lines with a Sharpie. I'm going to start with a Sharpie so you don't have to watch me go through that step. So you might want to be thinking about details for your monster. Mine's going to have a little tooth right there. And then maybe how the eyes are going to look. Are there eyelashes? Will your monster be wearing glasses? All these things you need to be thinking about and planning out. Mine looks a little bit like a frog right now. He's kind of chubby. So, just to be silly, I'm going to give him little bitty hands. Maybe it's a girl and I could draw a bow on its head. Maybe it's got its hand on its hip. Perhaps it's holding a briefcase. It's a businessman monster. Maybe it's just got great big old feet. Boys and girls, you can do anything you want to your monster. The more details you add, the more interesting it will make your monster. Speaking of details, Once that's finished, you can also start coloring. I would color before I glue. So that means I'm just going to scoot some of these things out of the way so I can add all the color and the designs, maybe even the patterns that I want to on my monster. It'll be easier to do that. And then once I've got everything colored, I can start to glue. Now, boys and girls who are in second grade, you can always work on these some more tomorrow. Kids in third and fourth grade, you guys have a whole hour. I know you'll get this finished. Once your monster's complete, it gets glued just like that. Remember, glue goes around the edges, of course, using your glue cup and brushes. When you fill out the bottom, that's when you really begin to use your imagination. Think about all the silly things that could describe your monster. And I would use a skinny Sharpie for that. Most of all, boys and girls, don't forget 2 things. Write your name at the bottom and have a ton of fun. I can't wait to see what your love monster looks like. Bye-bye.